doesn't it? A few minutes to 9, good morning. We're asking this age-old question. What's the key to a long and happy relationship? Researchers from the University of Exeter have spent 10 years following more than 40 married couples to find out what really makes or breaks a relationship.
Joining us now from our London newsroom is University of Exeter's Jan Ewing, one of the researchers who worked on the project, and here in studio, a relationship expert, Sam Owen. Very good morning to both of you. Jan, could we start with you, but just give us a sense of what you think you've discovered that we didn't know before?
As you say, you know, we've followed these couples for over 10 years, and what we found really was that people, fundamentally, they chose quite well in the first place. So they chose someone who they were had a good relationship with, that they had a really strong friendship with. That was very important. They had quite realistic expectations. They hadn't bought into the kind of Disney ideal of a relationship. They knew that it would require work, and so they did work on it. It wasn't hard work for them, but they really nurtured that relationship well.
Jan, Naga here. Some of the couples did split up, didn't they? But they continued to be part of the research group.
That's right, yeah.
And so what did you learn from them?
So again, you know, a few of them, even when they were happy in their early years, they talked about the fact that it had been quite difficult. At first, they almost had to make themselves fit. And yet, you know, they didn't almost realise that they didn't fit and they perhaps shouldn't have got together in the first place. So, and also, because they lacked that basis of friendship, when things got hard, they didn't have that to fall back on. So the ones that hit, you know, difficulties but worked through them spoke very explicitly about the fact that they fell back on their friendship, whereas the couples that separated just didn't have that strong basis to fall back on.
Sam, we introduced this by saying it's an age-old question, you know, the success to... What's the success behind a long and happy relationship? Is there anything from this research that you think is new? Is it almost repeating Charlie's question that brings any light to this?
I think the focus on being a friend is really key, because I think often people think that there should be an instant romantic spark between you, and it's just not always like that. And actually, when there is a friendship basis to your marriage, it means you just bring certain elements such as compassion, empathy, a desire to really just be a great teammate for that person, and life's going to challenge you and you need to have someone who's going to help you through those moments. And actually, you know, research shows that our resilience is boosted by positive relationships in our life, and also, you know, through life, what helps your mental health and well-being is being able to fulfill your potential. And so if you have a supportive partner, research shows that you're more likely to take advantage of opportunities for personal growth, whereas if you don't have a supportive partner, you're more likely to forego those opportunities.
I noticed, Sam, that the first thing Jan said was that picking the right one in the first place.
Definitely.
I mean, it's kind of glaringly obvious in a way, isn't it? But
yeah, I think it's
step one.
Yeah, and I love that she said that, because it is about trusting your intuition. You know, if it feels easy and natural between the two of you, I think that's always a good sign. I always say to clients, trust the feeling that you get when you're with somebody, because that tells you a great deal.
OK, Jan, you monitored these couples. These couples were monitored over 10 years, is that correct?
That's right,
because
yes.
Part of the thing about when you dive into a relationship, yes, you may feel comfortable, Sam, as you said, and connected and feel that you're going to get some support, but you're still changing. We change all the time. There is no guarantee, is there, that you're going to change in the same ways and keep perhaps the same ideas or ambitions that you had when you first met?
That's right, and lots of couples actually, you know, where they ended up was very different to the life that they thought they were going to have, but it was the couples that changed together and they just adapted to change well. You know, they anticipated change and then they just pulled together through those times. So actually, you know, the life that they ended up with might have been quite different, but they kind of grew together.
Do you think, Jan, you will stick with them now? You've done 10 years. I mean, is the plan, you know, 20, 30, 40 years? What's the long term?
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. You know, you get a lot more from longitudinal research instead of just a snapshot in time. So I'm hoping that we'll follow them up in due course.
It'd be fascinating. Thank you very much for your time this morning. Jan Ewing there, who's part of that research project. Sam, thank you very much for your time this morning as well.